What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Skady. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Hades. His name is Kimo. The salty run back is here, but this map is different. New map, new you, new me, says Skady, as he says, I can do this. I can take the Kimo Hades out with the Oranos. This is literally, it all comes down to this game for Skady. If Skady loses this game, he is he's not out of the tournament. He will be fifth place, which does mean he goes on to the fifth place show match, but he's out of the playoffs completely. So this game is everything for Skady. So we'll see if he's going to be able to make it work. The map is Oasis, which is going to be a huge deal for Skady playing as Oranos here. He's going to have all of the advantages that he could possibly hope for, and we're seeing him go for what looks to me to be a 3:55 advance time, not grabbing hunting dogs. And is he going to be rewarded for this? This is always the question. It's a risk to not go hunting dogs because sometimes you get five giraffe. And this is a perfect situation here for Skady. It looks like it's 4 zebra. Was it 4? Yeah. So 4 zebra start plus 2 giraffe start. This is really good for the 4 minute, the 3:55 no hunting dogs. Why? Because there's just not that much hunt. You don't get that much value out of hunting dogs, and skipping it here will give you a slight edge here on this map, as compared to someone else who is going to be getting it. Like obviously Kimo here wants to get it most of the time. Apparently I'm wrong. Apparently Skady becomes 6th if he loses. So it makes this game even more important for Skady. That's absolutely right. Skady would go to, yes, I think Skady would go to 16 points if he loses this game, which isn't enough to take him above Grass and Groom, who is on 16 points. So this even, because Grass and Groom beat Skady in the head-to-head. Right, we're all making it up. So this puts even more pressure onto Skady. We'll see how he's going to go. He's risking it all on this aggressive early game play. We'll see if it's going to work out for him. Now, the big thing is that I think that that Skady's got going for him is that even in the best of maps, Kimo's early game, I would call it around about a B tier for Kimo. If I had to put like early game build orders into a tier, I would say Kimo's is around about a B tier. That's not bad. It's not good. But the thing about a B tier build order is when you get really rubbish maps, and when I mean rubbish maps, I mean imperfect maps where you have to make some difficult decisions, like the giraffe over here being really far away and only having 2 giraffe. When you have those sorts of maps, the advance time becomes really, really difficult and things become really, really tough. So we'll see what Kimo is going to be able to come up with here. And he is indeed going for that early Ajax, which I don't think is going to be a good thing for him. We'll even have enough food here to advance out of these giraffe. It looks like he does barely, but I mean, the granary quite far away from those giraffe, and Skady is already advanced to basically already advanced to the second age, is moving forward with this citizen here to start dropping down what looks to be forward placed counter barracks here as well. As he hits that second age, the oracles are in position to harass these villagers here as Skady moves forward. He's not going for the Valor just yet. The villager does come over onto that position, and we do see the counter barracks, military barracks here for Skady. So Skady might even be thinking about cutting villagers here to put the pressure on to Kimo completely. This is almost a counter Odin measure, as Athena is the god of choice here for Kimo, but a counter Odin measure where the Oranos player goes for a 3:55 advance time, but goes for military academy counter barracks, goes up to 9 citizen, or 7 citizen actually, 7 or 9 citizen, I can't remember, and just spams off of those amount of citizen. as the units are pumping out here, and you can see the resources for Skady quite low after all is said and done, as the villagers over here are going to be finishing up with that zebra. They can move over onto the herdables. If I was Skady and you want to be absolutely efficient, start moving the herdables over to these villages so they don't have to move as much. As the Promethean offspring searching around, we do see the Sentinels is up here. His hand axe is going to be coming through. Kimo doesn't quite have the gold to get himself that second town center, and we see a stable and a military academy coming down for Kimo. So this is a very, very different opening here for Kimo in this game. Not going to be attempting the crazy town centers, as both the town centers on the bottom side of the map here are going to be easily able to put harass onto those locations, and Kimo accepts that he's going to have to defend a little bit differently here as the shockwave comes. Okay. I thought those were stuck in the forest there as they walk away, but they're still all going to be getting taken down. Not all getting taken down. We'll see how well Kimo can micro this as more term are coming in. The villager's going to be jumping into the tower there as the Sentinel getting some damage done. Ajax and Minotaur coming in onto this position as well, as the villagers retreating back, and we will be seeing Skady pulling back here as well as more units piling in for Skady. And look at this. Skady is getting that last citizen out. He's put a lot more villagers actually over onto food after all is said and done here. So maybe he's not going to be cutting units at all. Rather, not cutting villagers, but rather cutting military instead of the villagers. We'll see how things are going to go. But now it's Kimo starting to put some units out. He's a little bit housed, trying to get those out as well, as the villagers on this gold mine sitting there playing very, very cautiously here, as Kimo has to move back onto his herdables after all is said and done. He wants to be eating those chicken, but Skady's pressure is too big at this point as well. Skady searching around as best as he possibly can for everything that he can find. Villagers moving back over onto the goats here as well. Skady is playing this really nicely. It looks like he's not cutting villagers at all. He's cutting the Mamillo, making sure those citizens are training perfectly. Going to be pushing himself further and further ahead in this game. As the units coming through here for Skady, going to be searching for some sort of a fight. Meanwhile, I don't think that Kimo has gotten himself out his Chiron just yet, as the Minotaur getting some good damage done, but the Valor comes through here, going to be sniping that Minotaur down as restoration coming in for Kimo, and Skady just says, no worries, I killed the Minotaur, I'm out. See you later. That restoration doesn't bring, even though the light still shines down on the Minotaur, doesn't bring the Minotaur back from the dead. Nice play by Skady. Kimo in a very difficult position here. Those Mamilla were really strong here. The Termor as well, getting some huge amounts of damage done here is Skady. A little bit of a weird micro there, it seems, from Skady, trying to make sure his Termor are attacking the right units, but instead they just kind of glitch out, as Kimo looks like he's going to be losing a significant amount of units on this position, and Kimo still hasn't gotten himself the also important watchtowers in this position, but Skady pulls back. Not happy with taking the fight after all is said and done. Kimo might even need to drop himself down in archery range here, as the farms are slowly starting to pop up as well for Kimo here. There's more units coming in onto this position, and we'll see how everything is going to go here for Skady as he's searching around, trying to figure out what to do here in this game. There's really nothing else for Skady to attack, so he might want to consider going for a second town center. The one thing that Skady hasn't done yet, which I would like to see, and it does look like he's going for a town center, so he can do it after he chucks that down, would be to get himself the economic guild and get himself husbandry here to push that food income, and the fact he's got all these goats still alive. 12 goats, 13 goats still alive in this position here, to push those up much faster. So we'll see how that's going to go, if Skady's going to decide to do that or not. But the town center is on the way. A wall up on this position. Nice play from Kimo to defend there, as the farms are slowly coming through. He's got 5 farms up. He can still move back over onto these chicken. There's 4 chicken remaining over here that he could eat. That's 400 food. Decent amount of time there that he could buy before he needs to get the rest of his farms up as well. And we'll see what Skady can do here, as now Kimo pushing across the map with his Hippocon, searching for something to target down. The Chiron is in this army as well, but it looks like Skady sees the units moving across here. I'm not sure if he was just Spidey senses tingling or if he saw it with the army positioned over here, but the units come through, push Kimo back. Kimo doesn't lose anything, but those Hippocon are very low HP at this point. Skady pulling back from this location as well. Kimo at this point can now start thinking about getting this town center down because his units are all over here. All of the Oranos units are at the top position here. So Kimo can definitely bring, say, these villagers from this wood line over to grab this town center, and that could be a way forward here as we do see Kimo slowly starting to move in onto that position. And Skady, he knows what's happening here already before the Oracle spots it. He's already tasked his units to move onto this position, and there isn't a shockwave available just yet. Skady at this point has it up now. There is a shockwave available here to put a stop to this as the Oracle moves away from this position. The units coming through, the villagers pulling off of this wood, realizing how out of position they are there. There is a nice wood line you could potentially grab here or here with some walls. The wood actually for Kimo is very, very bad on this position here. So we'll see how it's all going to shape up. Kimo doesn't have that vastly important restoration here, and he gets distracted by the army of Skady going after the gold villagers as the villagers over here get hit by a significant force. Shockwave coming down here as well as the units from Kimo, they need to get over here. The villagers pulling back. The town center is at 2,617 HP, going to start getting harassed down as Skady's got himself the second town center. He's at 110 of 110 population, needs another mana placed at some point as the army coming through here to take this fight. The villagers coming back onto this position as the Chiron and the Hippocon coming through here, and it looks like Kimo will be able to get the town center up after all is said and done, but he has to take this fight. The Sentinel is getting some good damage done. Actually, nice micro here from Skady to distract the Sentinel, but he's not doing it any longer as all of those hoplites are taking out. Those Momillo going down relatively quickly, but Kimo's population is still very, very low, and his economy is suffering here as well. And I love this play here from Skady to boot at the top of the map. The wall coming up there to block that top gold mine from getting snuck there, especially with the Oracle on that position as well. 60 population for Kimo as he's still fighting in this location nicely, but it looks like Skady is going to be getting the win here after all is said and done. However, with every fight comes a huge problem for the Oranos player to deal with, and that is the Hades Shades start spawning. There's 6 Hades Shades here. You have to add an extra extra population per Hades Shades to kind of work out exactly where your opponent is, because they're only 1 pop, but they've got 2 pop worth of stats as Skady going to continue to attempt to push through this army. What this does is it really makes the second gold mine a problem for the Hades player to deal with. Every single one of these fights that you can take, and Kimo continuing to take it here. He's going to pull back, reposition, get his units coming out. He's got a second town center up, but he's only got himself, 12 farms in his main base. Or almost 12. He hasn't got that 12th one up. So 11 farms in his main base, 2 town centers, trying to pump out so many food-based units here. And we'll see how things are going to go. We have a question in the chat. How do the shades work? Is it just a chance of spawning for each unit death? You've got a 1 in 5 chance to get a Hades shade spawning, is the way to think about it. So for every 5 units that die, you can expect 1 Hades shade coming through. As the Terma pushing in to take out a couple of those Toxotes. Nice play where that's concerned. The next thing is that Skady, he might want... Well, he's actually already got a citizen over here, so he can put the Sky Passage over there to teleport up to the top side of the map if the villagers try and shank down this wall and get onto this position here to this gold mine. So he can get up there very, very easily. The other thing that I think Skady should be considering here against those hoplites is making some Cairo Ballista here. Wouldn't be the worst of idea to just have 1 or 2 added into this army. Potentially, Cairo Ballista Terma auto-queued in the counter barracks would make that happen nicely. As the Chiron getting some good damage done, and it looks like Skady has to retreat as Kimo, he might be starting to find himself in that position that we are getting so accustomed to in Age of Mythology, is that for some reason, being down population, being in a really difficult position, for some reason, Hades tends to just continue to win fights as he's getting closer to that population he needs to be in a really good position here. The villagers moving over onto this gold mine as Skady, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it work after all is said and done. Thank you for the 3 months, F. Brito. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for coming and saying good day. As Skady now swinging around with his tournament life literally on the line in this game. Kimo not paying attention here. Walks a little bit too far forward, a little bit too early here, and Skady sees the opportunity. Those Terma are going to be able to easily take down the Toxotes in the back of the army here. Normally they sit with 15 range and can stay away from the hoplites, but Kimo still has got a ton of those hoplites in here. More hoplites streaming through as we see a wall coming up on this position for Kimo to defend his gold mine here, and Skady has to retreat back yet again here as he's chucking some more military buildings down. Farms in the main base here starting to come up as well for Skady. He's got a couple more goats remaining where that's concerned as well, and Kimo has managed to equalize. You'd have to expect here in this game as another archery range coming down, storehouses coming through here to get himself even more gold. Farms on this position. He's got himself the 5 farms here. Plenty of farms in the main base. Looks like he's got 20 villagers on the food here after all is said and done. So plenty of food income to support the units coming through. He's still behind on population. The 3rd town center is starting to come up, and Kimo is going to be thinking about how can he get himself that 3rd town center as the shockwave gets dropped down. The Promethean coming through here. The Chiron with only 6 HP here. Not going to be a good position for Kimo to take these fights. This is a perfect timing for Skady to push through. Kimo does have himself 2 favor in the bank. He's trying to micro that Chiron to the best of his ability to keep it alive, but it does end up falling there as yet again Skady not able to win these fights here as he has to pull back, and Kimo holds on. Those Hades Shades are just so strong here, increasing the numbers of the army for Kimo so incredibly well. Kimo now for the first time in this game taking the population lead as Skady pulls back ever so quietly there with his units. And what can he do now? Obviously, Heroic Age going to be a good option, and we'll see if he can adapt because this is a very similar position. He might be in a better position now than last game. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a very similar position to last game where Skady is going to hit the Heroic Age first, Kimo is going to hit the Heroic Age second, and Skady is going to have to figure out how to deal with this army composition, which Kimo has mustered here. And Kimo can also start thinking about line upgrades now as well, in a very, very good position. The Oracle going to get sniped down. The 3rd town center coming down as well for Kimo after all is said and done. This also starts securing gold mines and things like that. Skady has put the wall up over here, so he kind of has set up his own trade route here so he can start that. And there is a potential for a very long game to commence here in this game if Skady wants to take it that way. As the Murmillo pushing through to raid Kimo's villagers on this position. Nice play where that's concerned. The army needs to stay put here. The villagers can simply move forward here if they so choose to kind of sit in the middle of the map, maybe grab that gold mine in the middle of the map to boot here. But Kimo not paying attention, losing a lot of villagers here as he's clicked up through Apollo. Vault of Erebus coming through. Kimo still not paying attention on this position. Lots of villager kills here. This raid is absolutely huge for Skady in this game as finally Kimo notices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 villagers going down here as the army coming back for Kimo to deal with this one. Beautiful distraction play there by Skady as Skady retreats back, loses no units for that raid. Beautiful play coming around here to check out the wood villages on this location as well. As a gold mine coming through, and we see Skady already chucking that palace down. We were talking about how important this is here for Skady, but Kimo notices it as the units coming through to say, get out of here, not today. As is there going to be another palace anywhere else? Skady here looks like he's just going to go straight for the Mythic Age. This is another option that you can definitely go for. Mythic Age, Hecate, nice and early, especially with all those villager kills. Going to be a very difficult thing for Kimo to hold on to, especially with the gold mines all on the front, with the town center up Looks like Skady throwing away a Stymphalian bird there for free with the town center taking that one out. Does manage to snipe down the Manticore on that position as well, as a market has been thrown up here for Skady, so we can start a relatively efficient trade route as the citizen coming over into this corner of the map to potentially make that happen as well. Military barracks coming through over here as well, as the raids still moving around by Skady trying to distract. So we'll see exactly what Skady's plan is going to be here. He's going to now throw up the palace, but generally speaking, when you drop that Tartarian gate down in the base of a Hades player, you kind of need to be thinking about either Titan or destroyers or immediately fire siphoning. You need some sort of siege or some sort of continuation to make that timing that you or the distraction that you get from the Tartarian gate mean something. Now, Kimo has got himself up the market here. He might even be able to get himself to the next age very, very fast here as well, potentially even before the Hecate comes through. Another option that Kimo could go for is underworlding his army back home to take out the Tartarian gate. As the gate gets broken down, the Sky Passage is going to be getting taken out as well. As units up on the top side, checking everything out over there. The army swinging through here for Skady, looking to put some pressure down onto this position as Kimo trying to put a stop to all of this. And we do see the Underworld coming through to push the villagers off of this gold mine. This might be a little bit stretching Kimo a little bit too thin here as the Mythic Age hits for Skady, dropping the Tartarian gate down, hitting a bunch of buildings there, military production buildings there, as the Tartarian gate going to start harassing villagers. We see the villagers getting pulled off of the farms here to immediately target down that Tartarian gate as Skady needs to pull back. Fortified town centers coming through. The Lampedias here as well. Good raids coming through onto these units here as the Tartarian sport is going to get a ton of villager kills. But Kimo's got plenty of resources in the bank. He can rebuild these villages relatively fast. He does need to get himself some heroes in here to take out the Tartarian spawns, as Kimo, for some reason, his units are out of position in this Underworld Passage, not doing anything, as this distraction from the Tartarian gate is actually over here. There's no more Tartarian gate. The heroes coming in here to take out the Tartarian spawns and relieve the pressure. Kimo is at 55 villagers at this point, taking a lot of damage here from the Tartarian gate, as the units coming back in onto this position going to be searching to take out the walls here, take out the Sky Passage and continue holding on to gold mines. Skady needs to get in here and either kill off the town center or somehow get a gold staff, I guess. As the palace coming up on this position, I love that play, pushing forward. Kimo has held these types of positions before and he's got a lot of potential to make that happen here in this position as well, as the Stymphalian birds taking down the Toxotes on this location here, trying to harass that gold mine. The villagers over here in pressure as well. Kimo's got the resources to pump army out, but it seems to me that his production facilities are lacking. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not making any more Hippocons, so 4, 5, 6, 7. He's chucking them back down, trying to get himself back into a position to hold here. As Skady, he's now getting those destroyers out to hold on. We've got some counter infantry coming in onto this position as well, as a citizen gets taken down, and Skady is able to break through here, taking out the Toxotes and everything else. This gold mine is not going to be able to get grabbed, as Kimo's probably going to have to move back onto that location over there. He does have the Underworld Passage if he wants to try and sneak up maybe onto this gold mine or something. Is a crazy idea. I don't think it's a good idea, as the palaces are now up, the destroyers are here. This town center can start getting taken down. Kimo's got plenty of gold in the bank here. He's now got himself the heavy infantry as he's still trying to pump units out, but stuck in the heroic age. Kimo might not be able to hold on to this town center. How many destroyers are here? 3 destroyers plus the Lampedi, which is a surprisingly strong siege building taking down unit because of the 10 crush damage that comes with the Lampedi there. So the town center may be falling, as Skady has tasked himself to take that one down nicely here. Meanwhile, both the palace and the town centers targeting each other on this position is making it tough for Kimo to hold here, as Kimo's getting closer and closer to his 145 population. He doesn't have himself masons, he doesn't have himself fortified town centers, he does have himself arrows of the alpha, but not targeting down units here. It's going to make that completely useless, as the Lampedi coming through to get a little bit of damage from afar here, making sure to keep that one nice and alive to get as many conversions as he possibly can here, as obviously the advantage from Skady with 160 population is quite significant. But the Paspis coming out here, nice micro from Skady in order to win against the Paspis Toxotes army with Arcus destroyers. Effectively, what you need to do is continue to move your destroyers away from the infantry to allow your Arcus to kill the infantry as best as you possibly can, while also keeping your destroyers in front of the Arcus as well. But still, we're not seeing Skady targeting those palaces to help him out on this position, and Kimo going to be attempting to hold on here, but he's about to run out of this gold mine, I'm sure. 2,000 gold remaining should be enough here if he has the time to break through, but he's not putting any pressure onto Skady's economy. Skady is going to be able to stay in this position for a very, very long time, you'd have to expect here. And there's a trade route starting here for Skady to boot, which is he's going to be able to extend that when he moves to this gold mine and throw the market up in that corner there very, very easily, as well as now the Dryads coming through. We were talking about last game where those Dryads were actually hindering more than helping, as the Chiron dodging the fire over here nicely, but does end up falling there as the Dryad's going to come in and start tanking those Toxotes from behind. Kimo's population will start falling unless he's not producing from all of his military buildings here, as he does fall down to 122 population. We see the town center now coming up here for Skady. Can he get it up? 4 town centers versus 2 town centers. Generally speaking, the Oranos should be able to win in these positions, playing it correctly, if he can get that town center up. Even though we have seen 2 town centers versus 3 town centers where the Hades has been able to hold. But in this position here, no gold mines really remaining here for Kimo after this one expires. I'm not sure what else Kimo can do. He is sitting at a strong 130 population. He's got enough wood and gold to potentially throw a fortress down and start making some Petropolis to prevent the town center from going up here. But the units from Kimo doing nice things here. That Chiron still being very strong, though. He's still got to focus on trying to take that down as if it's the son of Osiris, because the Dryads are doing so much damage here that if the Chiron goes down, they're just so absurdly strong here. But it looks like the Chiron gets a lot of the kills done. Chiron going to be getting pulled back here as well. Does end up getting taken down. Nice play from Skady as Kimo desperately trying to hold on the town center, getting closer and closer to going up as the villagers get pulled off of the gold mine. Maybe going to try and grab this gold mine over here. Shank down the town center is another option here, but Kimo's at 120 of 130 population. He's got 70 villagers here as well, so his economy is decently strong after all is said and done. But Skady pulls back into this position, still not retasking his palaces here, as the villagers getting taken out on this position as well. And can Kimo stop this is the big question, as his Toxotes doing the tons of damage here. We are seeing Fanatics as the unit of choice for Skady, which does confuse me coming out of the palace here. Fanatics against Toxotes, not the best. They've only got 25% pierce armor compared to the destroyers, which have got significantly more. But the Fanatics do get a bonus against the Hypaspis, which maybe is the reason he's building them. 6 times, what is it, 100 and 200 and something? 275%, so 6, 12, 16, maybe close to 20 damage per second for the Fanatics, whereas for the Hypaspis against the Fanatics, where the Fanatics are doing 24. So I guess the Fanatics are better in a way, but they do cost 3 population. I don't know. Someone do the math for me and tell me what's better against each other, Pacifist or Fanatic. As the villagers are now making a last-ditch effort to come through here and drop this fortress down to get onto this gold mine. A fortress here would be a big deal for Kimo, because it's going to mean he can build a Petropolis to stop this town center, but the town center is still going up, and in this moment, Kimo with 93 population, no gold income, he does have to tap out, and Skady claims the win and claims his position in the Champions League playoffs. Same toot as Kimo. Kimo will be 4th. Skady is going to be 2nd here, ladies and gentlemen, in the ending of the group stages, which means some very exciting stuff is going to be happening in the very first round of the playoffs. For those of you wanting to know exactly how it works, basically, first position of the Osiris division takes on 4th position of the Artemis division, which will be Nullus I believe, has secured his top position. We're still waiting on some games to be finished there, but Nullus has secured the top position in the Osiris division. Kimo in the 4th position means they will be duking it out in that first round. We'll see how that goes. That's going to be very, very exciting. Still waiting to see what the rest of that Osiris division is going to look like. Waiting on the Rappel and Ulysses game to decide basically the rest of that group. Very, very exciting times. If you guys enjoyed this series, enjoying this tournament, enjoying Age of Mythology content, do consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.